and then I just look back at it and think, God, like this was really intense for me. Made the moments, made some really good friends during it, and it's inspired me for my career that I want to go into. It's just like, why be mad about it when I can view this as almost like the best times of my life? Especially LAN as well. I feel like LAN was a big sort of cure for me being like really depressed.
All right, this is kind of sad because we're coming towards the end here. This is episode 39. Wow. I've interviewed a lot of people. I've really wanted to, there's so many people I have missed. It's really unfortunate, but just because of the timing and everything, there's only so many people I could cram in, which meant that these last few people, it's incredibly selective who I've selected for these interviews. And that completely applies to this person as well. I really wanted to give them their moment, give them a chance to talk about their story and what they've gone through, and for people to see it. What else do I want to say? So this is another young guest. This is what I call an echo kid. It's one of these people that have those vital teenage years have been spent in the echo community. And it's a real first. This hasn't really been, there's no generation before. I know there's kind of like internet generations where they have grown up on forums and things like this, but this is a forum, like a physical one. This is a virtual space that they've lived in, gone into every day, played with the sport, but also the social side. So their social maturity, social experiences has happened in a virtual space. And that's kind of added to the fact that these vital teenage years for them were COVID years. It's a global thing. There's a whole generation that have it sounds like a negative thing. It sounds like they've kind of missed out. They've spent a couple years, or at least a year, with very limited social opportunity. Their social circle really shrinks down. Having school lessons from home when they do go into school is limited how much they can actually socialize, social bubbles, stuff like that. It's quite it's poignant. It's quite a thing that will be looked at later. It'll be studied how this generation moves forward differently to those generations before and ones to come after it. But that's not all this interview is about. This interview is about a particular individual who I've really enjoyed watching from afar, and then as of recently a bit closer up, them mature. I really want to do this justice. This is a person that very openly talks about dense topics like depression, openly talks about all of the things that all teenagers of all generations go through, but to really stand up to their inner demons and stand up to these very, very, very normal, relatable things that people struggle to have these conversations about. This is a person that's absolutely stood up to them, grown as a person, worked through their emotions and grown emotionally, and all of that good stuff. Real hero's journey with this person. And as the game's ending, it's coinciding with their evolution and growth and becoming a new person, and all of that good stuff is lovely to see. It's lovely to see it in real time happen. As this person has kind of come on board and helped me produce this, is one of these people that have made it easier for me to churn out these interviews and really raise the quality bar of the production that you're witnessing literally right now. Again, I'm rambling. Let's get straight into it. This person is MilkyBoiVR. Let's get to it. How's it feel to be on top of the pop?
Oh God, it feels weird. This is really this is unusual. This is not what I've experienced. This is much different. This is really different. Yeah, it's weird.
So at this point, you've probably spectated, I want to say 10 episodes?
Probably around that. I wasn't sure. I didn't really keep a good count of it, but it was probably around about that, yeah.
So why?
Why I sort of...
Yeah, why did you offer? Because I asked you, knowing that you could, basically. I mean, I just needed anyone to help me with the cameras and step up the production of this podcast. And when I asked you,
knowing that, well, of course you're EU, so you'll be in the same time zone. I know
Yeah.
that you're eager to help out with this kind of stuff, and you just jumped straight on it. You're so eager, and I was really surprised how like up for it you were. How come?
It's like, why not? I mean, it's a case of like, I'm the sort of person who sort of wants to help people out. I've always sort of liked doing that. I've always had like a nice little boost to myself for doing that. And I don't know, it's just in general helping people out. It's just sort of thing I really like doing. And it's just like, it was Echo related as well. So it's just like, you know, I've got a load of time on my hands right now. So it's just like, I could probably head into this and then I could probably sort of help some people out while I have all this time, instead of spending my time doing something that's not, it's going to be like completely worthless to me. And it's like, and it was enjoyable as well. This was enjoyable as I was doing. It was really nice to sort of set up the angles, get to see what people had to talk about, and getting a good sort of behind the scenes of that as well. That was really nice.
You say you enjoy helping other people. Is that something like new, like in the past couple of years you discovered, or have you always been like that since you were little?
I feel like I've always had that sort of part of me, like throughout when I was little. I don't think it's like anything super like recent. It may have been supported by the fact that Echo was at that point shutting down as well. And it's sort of case of where I just want to do as much as I can with Echo before it shuts down, because like this ain't gonna be here anymore. It's like this is gonna go, and it's sort of like you really want to do something about that and try and create some good memories from it, like, pretty much.
Why is Echo special to you? Why are you still playing it with one day before it shuts down, which is today, on the 31st of August?
It's like, it meant so much to me, I guess. Like, this was my first sort of free game, and it's sort of supported by the fact that, what was it, like, so I got my headset on the 25th December in 2021, I believe.
Oh, right.
And then 2 days later, I came across Echo, and that's when I played my first sort of pub match. And from sort of then on, it was like 4 days of playing that. I found like a group of people, and I was just like, I really want to get into this VRML. So 4 days later, I'm then signed up on the website, and that's 4 days after playing the game. I think we've all just sort of had them moments where it's just like, God, we feel so good at this game, especially in the starter. Like, maybe you're like unique at the game, maybe you're doing absolutely insane at the beginning, and then you want to hop into the esports sort of thing. I always had that sort of thing where I had this interest in esports, and it wasn't VR. VR wasn't the first, but VR was the actual first thing I did start doing esports for. And I guess it was sort of that passion of VR as well. It was just like, I guess I just picked up on the game and I sort of just started really enjoying it. And the fact that it's going, and the fact that I may not be able to get these sort of memories that I'm having now, and memories I had like LAN, for example, and the fact that something like this had meant so much to me, had done like so much to my life, and inspired me so much, it's just like, why should I let it go if it's going to inspire me to do things that I never thought that I'd be doing as a kid? If a kid me a few years ago, I would not think I'd have the inspiration, or there'd be a game like this where I just find it so enjoyable. That's sort of why I'm sort of sticking with it, and I want to stay with it for as long as I can.
So were you into esports at all? Were you into Rocket League or anything before December 25th, 2021?
I hate to say it, but it was an interest in Fortnite.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, I don't like it anymore. I don't play it. I wasn't even that good at it, but it's just like, I guess I like the competitive side of things. And it's just sort of like, that's an open option. It's just like, I could go for that. In no shape or form was I that good. I probably had like a 1% win rate in Fortnite. So it's just like, I wasn't anything special. I was horrendous at the game, but it's just the competitive side that got me going. I don't think I necessarily had like the esports sort of feeling for like Rocket League. Of course, I do love the competitive stuff, and maybe I looked into it once, but I never actually put up any action for any sort of esports like Fortnite or Rocket League. It was, yeah, I have had an interest in esports, but it's not as strongly as I did in sort of VR.
So had you played VR before you got your headset in 2021 at the end of the year?
Yeah. Funnily enough, I sort of, right, so my first sort of headset, I don't necessarily like to count it as a headset because it's a really low standard. But it was the mobile sort of VR headset, so you could just slot your phone into and like play a video or something. And I think it's just a sense of immersion from that, and I sort of really enjoyed that. And I was just like, I think where a lot of the sort of thought that you really want to try out VR, I think that comes from the videos you're going to see online, like Job Simulator, I think was the one that done it for me. I saw that and I was instantly sort of hooked on it. Probably a few years later, I got a PlayStation VR. Tracking on that's horrendous. I can't lie. Have you played the PlayStation VR before?
Really briefly. I sat down and played a game, and I think it was an Xbox controller, so I wasn't too bothered about the tracking.
Me sat there playing Beat Saber with Christmas tree lights on in the background. And you know that it's like light tracking. It picks up like little balls of light on some sticks. Beat Saber on PlayStation VR I feel like is the best because the shape of the controllers. But anyway, it's just like if you had like a Christmas tree in the background, the controllers would start like freaking out and they go everywhere. It's mental. But yeah, had some good fun with that. Played some really good games. And then I ended up heading into... Well, I saw there was the Oculus Quest 2. It'd been out for a few years at this point, but it was just like I kept coming through like, what was it, like Curry's PC World or something. I just keep... I love the technology side of that shop. I always go there, and I always have to look at maybe some PC stuff, some keyboards, and stuff like that. And then it was just like, I saw the Quest 2, and I really wanted that for like Christmas time. So that's when I did end up sort of getting it. So yeah, VR's always been some sort of like passion. There's always been a passion there for it, and I find it quite enjoyable. I did like it.
Do you do any PC VR? Or are you all standalone? Just Quest 2 now?
I am definitely PC VR. I'm much of a PC VR type of person. The only reason I'm playing Quest now is because I am on holiday at the moment. So it's just like having to bring my PC here wouldn't be that good. But no, I do have a CV1. I did put that to really nice use. Yeah, PC. I'm much more of a PC VR type of person. Standalone, I'm sort of like, I feel like the meta have sort of got away from the PC VR, and I guess I'm kind of like, I'm not agreeing on it 100%. Like, unless something like really big wireless came out, like standalone headset that could actually like function really well, like to the extent of like a PC VR headset, then I would heavily consider the standalone. But then at the moment, it's like, it's so expensive at this point. I know like a PC and a PC VR headset's really expensive. It's just like, I'd probably at this moment in time prefer that a lot. And I have enjoyed playing PC VR a lot more than I have on Quest.
And this was before Echo? Or is this like more recently?
This was pretty much after Echo, because I didn't have a PC at that point either. So I think it was, I got so much into Quest EchoVR. EchoVR was the actual thing that probably got me a PC now and a CV1. I enjoyed sort of playing it so much on a Quest, and I heard like, oh, CV1 could make it easier. I can make your gameplay much better. You can become a much greater player. Just a lot more possibilities, a lot better accuracy, and just that stuff like that. And that sort of really got me hooked on it. And yeah, so I was playing Echo for quite a while. Decided to get I got a CV1 before I got a PC. I didn't actually buy it. It was actually my stepdad who just sort of got it for me, sort of straight up, because he knew that was something I wanted. So I got that, and then probably a few months later is when I got a PC.
Yeah.
I guess it was enjoyable to sort of explore what the CV1 looked like and everything like that, I was sort of so excited to use it at that point as well that because I have an iMac,
Right.
I decided to hook up like Boot Camp with it. Or Boot Camp's basically being able to have Windows inside
Yeah.
an iMac, which I ended up doing. But because the components inside an iMac is so like it's shit, it is absolutely horrendous. I just can get it on. Seeing a little light in the middle of the headset of the CV1 was just like, oh my god, it works. It's functional. And it's just like, because I got it from CEX. It's like secondhand. The first CV1 I got was quite nice condition. That ended up breaking.
Or
Yeah.
the cable or the actual headset?
The actual headset. I think, and this probably was the reason, I dropped it, okay? And, like, you can drop CV1 quite a few times before anything bad happens to it. But I dropped it, and this was actually when I was going to hop onto the breaches. I hopped on for, like, some sort of scrim, and the right eye just cut out, because the CV1 has two screens as opposed to a Quest, which is just one screen.
Yeah.
So it's two different screens, one for each eye, and the right one just was gone. It was completely cut out. I tried to restart my computer, so I pretty much fully broke the CV1.
Wait,
But I did.
How did you break it? You didn't. You just dropped it. Dropped it.
Oh
one too
yeah,
many
I
times.
literally just dropped it.
Oh man.
I think it was actually on top of my bed, and then I think it just sort of fell off. I haven't dropped it or it fell off. I cannot remember, but yeah.
So let's go back to so when you first started playing Echo, so you were playing Beat Saber and stuff like that on PlayStation VR. You
Yeah.
got your Quest 2, you started playing that. I assume you very quickly searched free games, found Echo, and then kept playing that. Can you tell me like the journey from playing pubs to then hooked and eventually finding a team? Like what was your journey into competitive to eventually getting a CV1 for the competitive
Yeah.
entry?
So 2 days of owning the Quest 2, I found a free game, and it was EchoVR. And the best sort of free game on that store at that time, and I would avoid it. And this is sort of opinion. It probably still is. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like everything else on there is horrendous. But no offense to the developers of, because I think
Ever.
I don't know, but anyways, played a few pubs, got the feel of it. I was probably like level 43, level 34, I think, probably level 34. And I actually met 3 people, and they were all like, I'm pretty sure they were all IRL friends.
Right.
And I decided then to play with them. I guess we just sort of picked up really well, because I was quite sort of skilled within my sort of level at that time, and they sort of saw that, and then we all added each other. We started playing with each other for a few days, maybe for a few days. Yeah, probably for about 2 days. So 2 days I met these guys, and then 2 days I started playing with them, I guess. And that's when I decided, I keep seeing this like poster, this VRML poster inside the social lobby. It's just like, that's like VR esports. I actually really want to sort of get into that. And I was asking them, like, do you want to play sort of with me in this esports? And we did. I ended up making the team. Our tactics were horrendous because we were all sort of almost fairly new to the game. We'd have like a perma goalie almost. One person on a wing. And I think, yeah, it was like 2 people on each wing, one person attacking, one person as a goalie. We did not like no stacks or anything. So you could probably imagine in our first 2 matches that we got generated, we got absolutely shat on. It was, God, and
What was the team?
it's a weird thing.
And where'd you get the strategies from? You just made it up.
Just made it up on the spot. It was the team was called Interfectors, which I kept on with the team for actually quite a while, and I met some really good people from that. I've made quite some. I call them IRL friends now because I've met up with them. I think especially Parsec or Jay, Karito845. Some people would probably know him as that as well. But started playing with him quite a lot. I met someone who was then sort of my sort of coach at the time. Kept running with that team. I did end up sort of quitting that. I was making some like content and montages at that point as well. But I sort of quit that team, and I was just like, I felt I was sort of getting held back in a way. It's not like my ego's big or anything. It was just sort of a case of like, I felt I could be on a much higher team, or a team
Right.
that just suited me better. I guess I was in a bit of a bad situation where there was so many people wanting to play on main. It's just like, it's stressful being a captain sometimes.
Yeah, you were a captain out the gate. Have you ever not been a captain?
There have been sort of chances where I haven't been a captain for teams. I'd say it's like 50-50 at that point, but I really don't know. I've probably beginning stages. I really like being a captain and being able to run my own team, make my own decisions. But then I ended up enjoying being just a player, a normal sort of player. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to have a look and see how many times I was captain and how many times I was sort of a player.
What does it? Do you feel it comes natural to you? Because that's the impression I get from you. Is that naturally you like to like start things. You like to start the team, run the team, make sure everyone turns up on time, and like build something together.
It was the same sort of passion. It was the passion for the game, to be able to own your own team. Starting things in general, I just love doing. I've started multiple sort of Discord servers in my past for stuff themed with Echo. It's just like I've always loved that sense of not just being a player, but a little bit more than a player. Just having a little bit more of a responsibility, being able to own some sort of stuff, own some servers, run servers.
What kind of servers? Is this tournaments and stuff, or is it more just like hangout team servers?
It was mostly tournaments. I did run a 1v1 tournament at one point. It did have like prizes sort of set up at that point as well. This must have been really early stages of my time in Echo. I'm sort of just thinking that the league was called VRSL, or VR Solo League is what I called it. Quite a few people sort of joined that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it just gave a different sort of sense. Because I heard of, I think it was some sort of 3v3 league or 2v2 league. I think it was a duo league. I don't know if it was VRDL, VR Duo League. I'm not sure. But I think I picked up on that, and I was just like, I want to start my own. I started a solo tournament. It only ran for like, it only ran once before I decided to sort of scrap it and move on from it. I'm pretty sure I deleted the server. I may have not. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. I've always had a passion for making Discord servers at that point.
Do you run any others at the moment? Anything like not Echo related or other tournaments? No.
I don't think I run any. I can't believe I can't remember if I run any. That's how sort of mental this is. But I don't know. It's like pretty much I've not ran any sort of server except from if it's to do with Echo. I've ran once before, which was for like a YouTube that I did have, because I've always loved content creation. As a kid, I'd say, when I'm older, I really want to be a content creator. And I think I really want to be at one point. So I ran my own sort of Discord one. But I think since then, that's what I did. And then I think this was quite a few years back. This is well before VR. and before I started getting into the VR. And that was anything not EchoVR related. Anything VR. As soon as I got onto VR, anything that was Discord related was Echo, and purely just Echo.
Cool. So, I feel embarrassed now for not actually looking up your YouTube then, because I've seen montages. Was there anything else that you've worked on in terms of like content creation, or was it for Echo? It was the montages that you were making.
I will probably touch on before VR and before Echo, in which I used to do quite a lot of sort of just console gaming at that point. That got me into editing quite a bit, and
Nice.
I have a passion for editing. I do love editing at the moment. I probably reached like maximum 200 subs at that point. I think I ended up sort of giving up because I think I was getting bullied at it for having a sort of channel like that. It's just like any channel I made, somehow everyone in my school would find out or something. It's just, that was annoying. That was really annoying. So I kept this private at one point. I only told one sort of friend. And then somehow it goes all public and everyone finds out about it. I ended up stopping that. I think probably the next channel after that was some sort of EchoVR sort of content. I think it was montages using Quest. And I don't think my editing was that good. I was probably using iMovie on my iMac at that point. And I think I was just playing around with that, getting a feel for it. Montages back then weren't as good as the ones I made now. Not saying the ones I make now are any good, because they're probably not. But it's the case of it's just enjoyable. I wasn't looking to get anything that was sort of EchoVR montage at that point. Was not the feeling of fame. It was more the fact that I just done it because I enjoyed it. I may have wanted to get a little bit of fame from when I was editing on Quest. Then after that, when it was sort of PC VR, it was like editing was just more of an enjoyment out of that. And the only thing I sort of did make was just montages. Or it was like YouTube shorts, maybe it was a little bit of Onward as well, Onward VR.
Yeah.
I didn't get competitive on Onward or anything, it was just I just had this drunk, grown man just carry the content pretty much. It was like I'd record like him just bullying children on Onward. Somewhat entertaining, but I've moved on from that.
Cool. It sounds like you genuinely enjoy making content. You enjoy having an experience in VR and then sharing that and making a funny video about it. Or like entertaining video. Because I say funny because I've seen some of your breaches ones where it's like funny moments. Funniest moments.
Oh god, yeah. I made I actually started making some shorts on that. I have sort of since then now, like I've quit breaches and I've quit sort of VRML at that point, but
No way. I thought that was your next step. I thought you were really into that.
yeah, I quit. I felt really guilty about just playing VR all day every day, and it's just like I've got college coming up now, and I'm in the middle of I'm getting 2 qualifications for personal training and gym instructor, just as like a side sort of career, I guess, as like a backup, as opposed to my main career, which can be complicated, like game development. Like that can be complicated at times. It's just like, if I ever need to move somewhere, if I ever need to make quick money, I've got them 2 qualifications just there. What's the question again?
I feel like we've gone on like 3 tangents. The last one was me being like, oh my god, you quit breaches.
Yeah.
And then you're saying you want to focus on college, you want to focus on like things looking forward. You're 16? You're going into college, you said?
Yeah,
Right,
I'm
so you're
16
looking
at the
forward
moment.
now.
Yeah.
And it's a weird time that we're all sharing, which is like end of chapters. End of a chapter being this Echo saga.
Yeah.
And yeah, like for example, when were you doing the cams for Retip's interview? Retip.
No, I wasn't.
No, you
I
might
wasn't
miss that
able to.
one.
I regret it, but I wasn't able to.
His one's really interesting. Whenever I put that up, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Because he put so much time into Echo, that chapter's ending, and he's just finished university as well. So like these are two
Yeah.
like big life chapters that have just ended for him. So he's like,
Yeah.
don't know what I'm gonna do, don't know where I'm gonna go, and it feels like it's coinciding with you finishing school as well, and now looking at college. It's like next chapter.
I just sort of want to move on with my life, I guess. It's sort
Yeah.
of fact that I want Echo to be my main sort of inspiration for what I want to achieve later in life. And I feel like just putting so much time into something like Breaches, I'm not that good at shooters anyway. I was alright at Breaches, I was decent at Breaches, but it's just like, I'm not good at shooters anyway, like VR, first-person shooters. It's just like, I don't think I had that much of a passion as I did with Echo. Because Echo's like a sport. This is, when I say, like, you got something like Onward or like Pavlov or Breaches, which is an esport in a way. It's not category sport. It's a shooter. It's another one of them shooters that you keep getting that keep popping up. And this is sort of a one-of-a-kind sort of game. There's not a game like it. I can't compare this game to pretty much anything else.
But what does it have that Breaches or Onward doesn't have? Or is it not something that you can put your finger on as easily?
I don't know, because I enjoyed it. I did have some really good moments with it. I was playing some really good people at that point as well. I think one of the things was that the Breaches sort of community is heavily toxic, like super toxic. A lot more than Echo, yeah. Like everyone is absolutely horrendous. It's just like, why am I spending so much time in a community like this when I had something like Echo in the past, and everyone sort of seems like, of course you get some toxicity, but then sort of the people I was surrounded by, it's just like, these guys are really nice. And especially since the game was announced to be shut down, people have been really sort of nice to each other at times. Breaches just wasn't there for me, and it's just like, I want Echo to be that inspiration. I want to go ahead with my sort of dream career of owning a sort of VR game development sort of company, and I want to put my focus on VR esports and just sort of make games that for other people, which inspired me pretty much, such as EchoVR, because EchoVR was such a big inspiration. And the fact that it's like, I really want to make my own games. I really want the theme to be off Echo. I want it to be addicting. I want people to meet really good other people because of it. I just want to make enjoyable games such as this. And shooters, I may make one in the future, but it's just like, at the moment, it's just like, I want to go for sports. I want to go for something such as Echo. And for people to sort of have that sort of, I want to say sort of like childhood. I want people to have the same sort of childhood that I had with Echo.
So obviously Echo is a massive inspiration for this career path that you want to pursue, but is there any inspiration outside of Echo? Is there any other like reason you had before, inspiration you had before Echo that wanted you to get into games? Or has it really just been the past couple of years since 2021?
I always had some sort of passion for game development. Like, I spend pretty much all day, every day just playing games, or just something game-themed. And the fact that that was sort of my hobby, my passion, I was just like, is there any sort of career that I could go for that focuses on games? And then I sort of came across sort of programming. I actually ended up using Scratch at that point. I think I did get a little bit of inspiration from a old sort of teacher I did have, sort of back in sort of high school. And I think I picked up some inspiration from him, because I think the thing that got me fully into sort of game development was there's a little sort of competition sort of going on for game development. I was horrendous at that because I was really new to programming, but I decided to enter it anyway with my school. Got into that, enjoyed it. It's just like, I want to go further. I'm programming on a 2D square, and I'm just putting blocks together. It's just like, I want to do a little bit more. I want to get into I want to get into game development more. And started picking up on some engines, exploring, having a bit of fun with it. And then I, of course, started playing sort of Echo, and that inspired me to do sort of VR game development. And then now it's sort of shutting down. It's just like, okay, now I want to do VR esport sort of games. And that was sort of focused. So I did have a pretty sort of big passion for programming at that point. But it's just like, I want to take it further now. Let the freedom go. Hold my arms out. Let Echo inspire me. Go ahead. And just enjoy it, I guess. It's like a dream career. I don't think I'd sit there finding it stressful in any way. It's just like, I want to run my own sort of little mini company. I want to go ahead and just enjoy it while I can, pretty much.
So you've mentioned it a couple of times now, the shutdown.
Yeah.
Could you tell me what it was like when you first heard that? Like, where were you? Like, I was going to say where were you mentally, but that might not be the right phrasing. Like, what was your experience with the game in January 2023 before hearing the shutdown? And then, like, how did you deal with it initially, and how are you dealing with it now?
I was enjoying it quite a lot. Still playing with the game regularly. At that point, because you could sign up for LAN sort of before before they announced the shutdown. So it's just like, I'm enjoying this game so much, I ended up buying sort of tickets to go to LAN. And just like, yo, I can actually meet some of these really good people that I've spent so much time with. It's just like, I could meet these guys. What was the... Oh, right, that was it. Shutdown, yeah. God, my brain's not functioning properly. I swear.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, for context, you said you were ill before this, but the reason we're doing it anyway is because literally last chance in the arena, last 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I heard shutdown, I was beyond angry. I was pissed. It sucks because I had some real life sort of things going on back then as well. I saw that time was shut down, and my sort of mental thought about the shutdown was that as soon as the game shuts down, I just feel alone. I feel like I wouldn't have any friends in the future, and like, because high school at that point, I wasn't doing so great with high school anyway. This is when GCSEs were sort of here as well. These are when the proper big exams were here as well. And when Echo was announced to be shut down, it was like, I was beyond angry. I think that ended up making me get into sort of, I don't call it depression because I was never diagnosed with it, but I was really depressed.
Yeah, Phil, you can go into as much detail as you want. It's completely up to you. But assuming you're going to keep the Twitch stream up, or if you want to like upload it in some other form, you did a very good live stream a few days ago. It was about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And you sent it to me. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it when I get time. I finally found time. I sat down. I was like, oh my God, this is like good. First of all, it's like your delivery of it. You've just done it off the cuff, 30 minutes talking about your experience, completely candid and honest and sincere with your delivery. So I really enjoyed that, like hearing your speaking. But secondly, just your story. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea. I had no idea you had such an intense story with Echo, and it was so tied to Echo. And it's such like a hero's journey for you.
Yeah, because it was just such big passion I had for it. I loved Echo that much, and it was like, my best friends were friends that I made online in Echo, and sort of friends at school. I really wasn't doing that good. And when I heard Echo shut down, it may have been one of the parts of the reasons that I got really, really depressed from it. And at that time, of course, sort of get a lot more angry. I remember seeing, the sort of plane flyover. Yeah. I noticed that, I don't know if many people noticed, but I was looking at live chats. I saw Boz actually did end up seeing it. He chatted in the live stream. It's just like, oh, it's done. EchoVR is going to be shutting down. There's nothing we're going to do about it. Enjoy Population 1 until May, whatever. It's just like, I was so annoyed the fact that they were almost just promoting other stuff from the life of Echo. The life Echo was just almost being used to promote other things, or it was just like, just a shutdown anyway. It was just like, why? This game meant so much, and I made so many good friends from it. Why would they shut such a game down? And it was so different for me. I think some people took it sort of well, in a way, sort of like, they're a lot more sort of mature about it. I sort of just flipped out. Honestly, I think life for me took a really sort of big sort of turn. And I'll probably head into sort of that sort of mental stuff a little bit more. Because the fact that after getting really depressed, so Echo being one of the reasons, and then school as well, I ended up like dropping out of school for a month. And this was like, after coming back to school, it was probably like 2 weeks until the exams. So I spent a month away from school, not legally in any way. It was just like I straight up dropped, and I don't know. It's weird looking back at it now. It's really weird thinking that I'm fine now, and then I just look back at it and think, God, like, this was really intense for me. Like, this shutdown meant so much to me, in the fact that I felt like I wouldn't have any friends to keep after shutdown. It was so painful to me. And I'm hoping I got good grades now. The only thing I'm sort of hoping for now is that I've got the grades I need to go ahead into college, go ahead in life. I feel like I've done all right. I think the last sort of weeks I had, I was really switched on. I was really I was really ready to go. I think how I'm dealing with the shutdown now is, I'm just like, well, it's happened. The game is going to shut down anyway. We can't do much about it. But what I may as well do is hold on to the memories, hold on to the people I've spent all this time with, especially LAN as well. I feel like LAN was a big sort of cure for me being like really depressed. Like the fact that I could see there were still like really good people out there, as opposed to like my life back at my school, and how many like absolute assholes are there. And the fact you go to LAN, it's like an escape. There's so many people that mean sort of so much to me. And it's just this big sort of community that was just like, everyone's chill. I'm taking photos with these group of people, and it's just like, God, these guys are actually really nice. And these are the sort of people I want to spend time with. And I messaged a little group sort of we made in sort of LAN. I was like, God, like my life outside of Southampton is horrendous. And I sort of opened up about it at that point, and I was like, I've become really depressed because of that life that I've been living. And the fact that they were there, they helped me with this sort of escape. Just like any sort of VR, it was like much more of an escape. And it's almost cured me at that point. And it gave me sort of hope for people, because it was, my way of thinking back then was that people were fake, friends were fake. And I guess I sort of surrounded myself with some people of the same sort of thoughts and feelings around about that as well. And I think I'd post some sort of things online, like just saying horrendous things about other people, and just saying horrendous things about myself. Dealing with shutdown now, I'm chill. I'm like, it's shutting down, it's happening, it's whatever. Made the moments, made some really good friends during it. And it's inspired me for my career that I want to go into. It's just like, why be mad about it when I can view this as almost like the best times of my life? Why can't I view this as an inspiration? Why can't I view everyone else as sort of helping me out, become the person I am now? And I'm just sort of proud that the game's done that, and I don't have any sort of negative feelings about the game anymore. And it's like, it's a shutdown. It happens with games. Yep, this game meant so much to me. I'm sad it's like shutting down, but it is what it is. You know, you may as well just enjoy these last final few moments, and that's sort of was my thought around it.
And how do you feel now with 1 day left? I know you're a little bit ill, so
Yeah.
it's hard to know how you're
Right.
feeling. But how do you generally feel about like the game, it ending, and like the next things that you're going to be moving on to?
I feel God. You're gonna have to remind me of the question. It's just passed through my head.
How do you feel right now?
I'm good. I'm in a nice sort of position, and it's just like I've got some good time on my hands. Enjoy it. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain. To me, it's hard to explain because it's like not. I'm not like happy it's shutting down, but it's like I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it. I enjoyed the game for this good amount of time. I want it to be an example for me. We've created the memories. It's been really good. It's been a really good run. I genuinely feel good. I'm not feeling good about shutdown, but I feel good.
Would you say you're past the anger? That like anger that really
Definitely.
took over there and it was really intense
Yeah.
for you? Would you say you're past
Definitely.
that?
Absolutely, yeah. It's weird seeing the contrast. It's weird seeing that's sort of how I was back then. The fact I'm so chill about it, the fact that I've matured so much since me being sort of really depressed about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's the contrast I mainly focus at. It's just like I've matured so much, and it's the fact that I don't want to let that go. It's the fact that this game, it meant a lot. It was really good. Yeah, I don't know. That it's difficult for me to say. It is, but yeah.
That's cool. I wanted to ask about casting because this is
Yeah.
something that I feel you haven't. Well, in your Twitch stream, you didn't touch on it too much, but I feel like, well, mutually, it's a big part of both of our journeys, but
Yeah.
particularly the finals for season 7. Do you want to talk through like, because you were before I reached out to you at all, you were already casting, you're already doing community streams.
I was doing some community sort of casting. I don't know what got me into that. I can't remember, but I don't know. I guess I've always had that enjoyment with media, and it's just like that was it. Right. So basically, after LAN,
Yeah,
there's this guy called Jack, or JXCK,
yeah,
and he had been doing some casting for Team Juice for a little while.
yeah.
And it's just like it was for jokes actually. Like casting was for the jokes. It's just like, should I cast the same game as well, just for the jokes, just for the enjoyment? And I casted. It was Team Dog versus some other team. I cannot remember, but that was my first ever cast. I used East by Not Blue, or EAST, Echo Arena streaming tool.
Right.
Used that, and I started getting like big compliments about it. I was just like, you're actually quite decent at casting. You should probably do some more. It's just like, you know what? Like, I don't know if anyone else has sort of had this, but you sort of like when you're watching any sort of sport, for example, you have something in your head just telling you, like you're just commentating in your head. I don't know if anyone else has ever had that. I probably seem crazy.
What?
Just like
You
I
mean
used
you
to
were
watch.
casting in your own head when you were watching a match?
Like commentating in my own head. Like if I
Okay.
watched some things before, it's just like I'm commentating in my own head. And it's just like I had a little look at the Echo sort of casting. I was just like, you know what, I should cast some more. And I should slowly upgrade the streams, try and make them better. I have a PC now, I may as well put it to good use, may as well get some casting going. And it was actually you who got me into the VRML casting, the VRML side of casting. Because you came across it. I can't remember what you said. You were just like, it's not, this ain't actual like bad casting. Have you considered signing up for VRML? And the rest is sort of just history at that point. Of course, I signed up, made a lot more streams, and then I got into it. and then my first cast was with Yaz,
Yep.
and I was happy to be casting with Yaz. Yaz is actually alright. Yaz is a nice person.
Oh no.
Turned
Oh,
on
you
pass through. Yeah, turned on pass through. I don't know why. It's just so sensitive. Yeah, no, I enjoyed all the casters. They were all really nice. They're actually really nice people. I guess I just randomly picked up a side sort of thing that I enjoy, and casting being one of them. Like, even if I was good, not good at it, it was just like I still enjoyed it. The fact that I could go in and gain that good experience, it's just like I'm creating these experiences, I'm getting into these opportunities. It's just like I may as well do as much as I can before going into my life as like an adult, for example. I may as well get as many things as I can done, pick up some really good sort of side things that I enjoy doing, get some experiences going, and casting being one of them. I think at that point there were some other casters I was working alongside with who were sort of really sort of emotional about the shutdown, as well. But
What I liked about you initially when getting you into the casting was you were just so up for it. I told you, okay, like finals are coming up. If you want to do it, just apply here, upload the VODs that you've already done.
yeah,
And you're like, yeah, okay. And like you did it within a day. And then when you came on, you were just doing everything right. Anytime someone gave you, you remember like Dano giving you advice? One of
yeah,
the casts we did with him, and you just listened, you took it on, and then you applied it. And you just kept doing that, and you kept asking for feedback, and you kept getting better and better and better. And before you know it, it's 5 a.m. and you're casting the OCE finals, season 7.
yeah. Oh gosh, they were the finals, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I totally forgot about that. Like, yeah, they were the finals.
You did loads of casts.
It was
You did
enjoyable.
loads. There was
I loved
Challenger
it.
Cup, and then there was finals. And we did
I
a
was
massive bulk of those.
I was absolutely loving it. I was getting some feedback from my parents as well, who is sort of watching some of these sort of VODs or just the cast live in general. It's just like the one I had to do at 5 a.m., the OCE finals. It's just like, right, is it okay if I get up at 5 a.m. and cast these OCE finals? Just like, they're unsure at first, but it's just like, they can see it, they can see what I'm doing. And I think they were sort of proud in a way that I was doing something like that, and I was getting into something like that. It was more the enjoyment for me, and being able to improve. I've always been the sort of guy who wants to improve on anything, and if that's including improving, being good at the game in Echo, or improvement with casting, it's like I want to go for it. I want to be the best I can be, and these guys have been doing it for a while, so why not listen to the advice they have, and why not try and get myself up to that sort of level, that sort of stage?
How is it like bringing your parents into that world and showing them the videos? Would they watch the montages? Would they watch your other YouTube stuff? Or was this like the first time you're really looking into the world?
I feel like my stepdad's sort of pretty interested in anything sort of VR esport wise. I think he's pretty interested in what I was doing back then. It's like gaming, and he does like some sort of gaming as well. I let him try out VR as well, and he enjoyed it. I think my mum did sort of enjoy me sort of doing this stuff anyway, but I don't think as much as my stepdad anyway. Some parents are sort of up with it than others. Like I know for a fact that I got some friends whose parents are fully invested in what they're doing. Mine are not that invested, but it's just like I guess it's more of a personal thing. And I think it was the cast. It was more that they were interested in. I think the montages. I don't know. I think my mum did see the montages, and I think she was sort of sharing it with sort of family and stuff. And how she was just like, look how much better I've got at editing or whatever. I guess it was sort of just that sense. When it came to casting, I feel like it was a lot more sort of. They were sort of more proud of the casting stuff.
Yeah. It's more of you as well. Like you're putting your face on camera and it's like your voice. It's half an hour of you speaking. It's more like parents I find are more proud of course, they're still proud of seeing their kids competing and
Yeah.
watching the vlogs of them, VODs of them competing, but hearing
Yeah.
them cast as well. I can say from personal experience as well. Like my parents love it.
Yeah.
They love seeing me cast.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like the fact, because some parents aren't, that up for their kid just being up online anyway.
Right.
But since from the start, they've sort of just been like, you're an independent person. You may as well just go for it, I guess. I've always shared my face online. I'm not scared of talking to an audience or sharing my face, sharing my voice or anything. I've never sort of feared that. It's like, I like to think myself as a somewhat sort of brave person in terms of social sort of interaction and just talking to people in general. I feel like Echo developed that quite a lot, but I think just even well before that, probably 6-year-old me just enjoying talking to absolute complete random strangers. I feel like I've always just not minded that. And of course, I probably started up many channels in the past, which I'm not proud of, but I've started up many channels in the past, and it's like I've always shared my face on there. It's like I'm confident. I'm confident in that. It's enjoyable as well.
So you said that next, the main thing is, well, the main goal that you're moving towards now, or want to move towards, is game development. You'd like to head a
Yeah.
studio at some point in the future and start making games which you're inspired by Echo
Yeah.
to make, particularly esport, particularly VR, but also you're interested in the competitive games.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're working on already? Any ideas that you're already like floating about? And is there any like skill set that you're focusing on? Are you like hardcore just development, coding, or like
My
3D artwork or anything like that?
my imagination has always been really free. I like it's always been sort of really big. So it's just the fact that yeah, no, I came up with a lot of sort of game ideas. I've especially got one that I want to stick with and I want to put forward. While it's not that unique and it's probably not as good as Echo, it's just sort of like, it's a start. I may as well play around with it a little bit. I'm probably going to go ahead and make that sort of my main sort of project going into college and stuff. I'm going to learn a lot more of that in college. I wasn't up for college, but had a little sort of taste today to find out that actually this will be sort of worthwhile. And this will be quite good, because some colleges they're not good at teaching game development, or they teach you like 2Ds, no offense to 2D games, but it's just like 2D Terraria looking games. It's just like, I am not up for that. But I went for a really high level of game development, and people at the college could see I have that sort of passion of game development. So just hop into that. I've got some project ideas I want to go for. At the moment, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing some people from, what I will be doing soon anyway, is grabbing some people from the Echo community, probably putting them in a server where I can keep them updated on some like game testing opportunities, so I can get them to test some of my games that I make in the future. So these really good friends that I've made sort of online, it's just like, I want to stick with them, and what better way than trying to get them involved in my career? So throw them into some game testing, I guess. It's just like, if Echo's inspired me, and if these guys have helped make my experience this good, it's just like, why not involve them? Why not keep that sort of line going? And yeah, pretty much.
Is there anything else that you're curious about, that you're thinking about going forward? It can be VR related, it can be elsewhere. Other people often talk about headsets, talk about AI, whatever. Is there anything like jumps to mind that's like hot on your mind at the moment?
Not necessarily, except from I'm like, it's just straight up VR, to be honest. Just in general, anything to do with VR. I don't play any console like PC games anymore. It's all sort of VR. So anything in sort of that aspect is sort of just like, yeah, just VR in general. AI I'm somewhat interested in. because I feel like it's just going to be the future at that point. It's just like, that's going to take a load of jobs. And the reason why I also got into the personal training, the courses, because like, I feel like AI could take over game development quite quickly. I feel like that could, I feel like the dream career I want is probably going to be at risk of these people making AI, because there's some Unity sort of AI things going on where people are entering prompts, and not only can the AI just give you lines and lines of code, but it's the fact that it can make models for you and everything, and it's just like, it can do its own thing. Anyone with sort of a future in technology, I feel like they're going to be struggling in the somewhat future. I'm just like, if I don't pick up on this AI stuff, I feel like I'm going to be one of them people. Or if I don't at least have a somewhat backup. But I have some strong thoughts on AI. It's just like, I feel like we need to slow down on AI. I feel like we're going a little bit too fast in a way. Because as soon as people started hearing about AI, it's been non-stop. There's some new stuff being generated in time space of months. Like every month there's probably some sort of new big sort of AI going on. And it's, I guess it's scary in a way. It's like, I don't want my career to be messed up by AI. Like a lot of jobs I feel like are going to be messed up because of it. But I guess that's just sort of a thought, or like just an opinion on what I think AI will do. I feel like it could be dangerous in a way, in that sort of way. But apart
So
from that,
why do you like prepare for a career in personal training? Why don't you study AI instead as a backup?
I was definitely thinking about doing something with AI, but it's just like, I don't think I've looked into it enough to the point where I'd be studying it. It's just like, if it was like a college course, I'd be like, yeah, sure, well, God's sake, get me into AI. I mean, yeah, I could make my own AI and have it do everything for me. But it's just like, I don't know. Are there any courses out there? I'm not sure, because if there were, then I'd be interested, and I'd probably pick up on a course like that. And if there was a course that could instantly get me sort of into AI, and I could start making my own AI sort of stuff, and fine, you know, I'll happily put some money into that, into a course, and go for it. But it's just like, I just don't think there's much out there at this moment in time. I feel like there definitely will be in the future. Like, you probably, if I have kids in the future, it's just going to be like, there's definitely going to be a somewhat course out there for AI. Surely there will be. Because I feel like a lot of people getting into AI now, and a lot of people making their own sort of stuff. So I should probably look into it a little bit more and set myself up for it. Because it could be fairly useful in its own ways, but I feel like we're too advanced in that aspect. And I feel like we should probably...
What does that mean? We're too advanced. We're going too fast.
I just feel like we need to slow down on this stuff. Just like, you got some real talented people, and the fact that everyone's getting AI to do things for them. Like, that's even why I haven't looked into it that much, because I strongly feel that AI is doing so much for people. It's just like, some people are so just naturally talented at stuff anyway. Why sort of get rid of that and make an AI do everything for you? Where you can add your own twist to things, you can just make things yourself and have something that you're like fully proud of. And if I was using something like game development as an example, the like sole purpose of me making a game is the fact that I know that I've made it, I know that I'm gonna enjoy making it, and that I've not got some sort of AI to just program the entire thing for me. I feel like having AI to sort of help you out is fine, but it's just like, at the rate we're going, it's gonna be building everything for us. And everything's just, the fact that you could just enter a prompt and probably in an hour it could probably make, I can reckon in 1 hour it could probably make a game like Echo. You put in a prompt, I want this game to be I want like a whole remake version of Echo Arena. I feel like it's going to get to the stage where it's just going to make a game like Echo Arena like this just straight away, right on the spot. And while I think some part of me says that, you know, gosh, we need it because we're getting some there haven't been that big games out there released like lately. Like quite a lot of games are just horrendous at the moment. It's just like there's not been anything big, is what some people will realize. Like you think of something like GTA or like Minecraft, for example. It's just like those were big. Those are really big games, and you haven't really had a game as big as that since. Of course, there have been some games that have had some spikes, but it's just like they're just not as big. But back to sort of AI, it's just sort of like, no, if I have to end up studying it because I feel the fear that it's gonna take over everything, then yeah, I feel like I'd have no reason but to study into AI. As much as interested as I am in it, I just feel like people should be just sort of a little bit sort of independent. They should just enjoy what they're doing and just sort of focus on that in a way. It's just a sort of personal sort of opinion on what I feel. Because you got some really good talented, like some people are amazingly talented. I don't just feel like I don't want that to be sort of ripped away.
Right. I'm really curious about the personal training. Is there a particular reason why that's something that you want to pursue? Is that just a hobby, like a secondary passion?
I wouldn't say it was a passion at all.
It's just
Like, is a backup. My mum's a personal trainer. That's pretty much where it comes from. She runs her
so
own
it'd be
sort of.
easy to pick up.
She runs her own sort of business, and it's just like, well, I'm gonna need a backup. I'm gonna need a job at some point. You know, I'm going into college now. I want to make some early money. So,
Yeah. Fair.
what better way in studying something that your family's done? You know, I get some money from the family. It's just like ended into the family sort of business in a way. Just go at it. It hasn't really been such a hobby to me. I did take PE GCSE, if that means anything, but it's like, I don't know. It wasn't that bad. I feel like I did have some sort of passion for it. I think I was gonna go into college for it at one point. I think I did consider that because I felt game development would be too risky or it'd be too difficult to hop into. But no, maybe a somewhat passion, but not big, not as big.
Chip or no chip?
It depends, but I'm gonna have to say no.
Really?
What is the sole purpose of it?
The sole purpose is the same purpose that AI has, is moving forward technology and advancing civilization to be even more resourceful and make things and move closer to everyone having plenty.
Because what I was thinking that, I don't know, it's either the fact that to me, it just feels like the invasion of privacy, or the fact that I feel like some people are just too invested in technology. Like, I get it, I play VR. Yeah, I want a career in VR and stuff. Yeah, that's technology, that's big. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's just something different about that. I just feel like I don't want to be super connected to anything like, say, for example, like social media, for example. I think especially LAN probably sort of even helped me with this decision, because it's just like, well, meeting with people in real life is like the best way of meeting people. And I feel like, because I don't 100% know what would happen with the chip or what the main sort of focuses are on it. But if I did have to take a guess, it'd be something about just sociability on like online and stuff. And it's just like,
Right.
I feel like some people are too into that. It's weird because I want to hop into sort of game development and stuff, but I just feel like if this means that I'm making games for people to come together in real life and enjoy being in each other's sort of company in life and not just online, I feel like that's just something I want a bit more. I feel like the human like to some people maybe the human isn't perfect, but it's just like it's good enough. And I feel like I don't think we need much technology in a human. Like if you think about it, it's just like the best kind of people are people that you're gonna have in life, and it's just like I don't know. I think we're just heading into this sort of weird sort of stage of technology where it's just like, is it worth it?
Right.
Like, is getting the chip that worth it? Like, if it's tested and I know exactly what's happening with it, fine. But you have to put so much trust into somebody for putting a bit of technology inside you, and God, because you could imagine what they could control or what they could see. I just think that'd be weird. Because not only does it have to be safe anyway, like safety-wise, but it's just like, God, like, it's weird, it's scary to think that they could probably just read exactly what you're thinking. That's why I'm sort of big on sort of the invasion of the privacy. It's just like, I'm pretty strong on that. It's just like, anything that should be private, I feel really should be private. I feel like the stuff that's happening in your own brain, because like data's being sold and stuff, isn't it? You get reports of that, but it's just like, do you want analytics reading your brain? Like, guys, you go to any sort of services you use, and they grab data from you already, and it's just like, that thing's in your brain. That's something else. That's much different. I could put the phone down, that's fine. But if it's just like there's something constantly inside me 24/7, it's just like I can't go into that. I wouldn't trust them enough.
That's fair. That's a really good answer. The answer is no, because of privacy. Get out of my brain.
Pretty much. Yeah, just get out of my brain already. Like, I don't need you in my brain. I have been fine for this moment, and we've been fine for generations. It's just like, I do not need something in my brain now. If it's health-wise, and somehow it was helping you out mentally or physically or whatever, if it was like a medical chip, then fine. But anything else, no. I can't agree with it. Pretty much.
Milky, is there anything else that you want to say, like with 1 day left, 24 hours left of the game, game shutting down? This is the penultimate episode that's going to air. Anything that you want to have on record out in the metaverse?
This man is insane. This man is great. This man is he is the lad. He is the man. This is the guy. This is Money Mitch.
Anything else you want to say? Any other like shout outs? Anyone in the community?
Big ups, Echo Arena. You're an inspiration. Thank you to the devs. Ready at Dawn. Ready at Dawn means a lot to me. And, well, I say Ready at Dawn, but Echo. Echo means a lot to me. And the fact that such a game was made and this has helped me out so much mentally, an inspiration for the sort of thing I want to do in the future. Like, big up, Echo. And big up to the people I sort of met. Like, I could throw people out there, but it's just like, you know, these people have been absolutely amazing to me. The fact that it's made me who I am today, it's just like, you know, big up Echo, rest in peace. And let's move forward.
Awesome. Milky, I really look forward to seeing what you do next. If you do go into game development, I'm sure it'll do very well. So, the right steps. You're saying you're already setting up a server for like closed beta testing or whatever you end up making.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your brain screwed on right, whatever that phrase is. You are equipped with the right resource to move forward in the correct way. And you have an unfair advantage over others just because you're so on it. You've built your confidence. You're not afraid to take action and just build something, just try stuff. And you don't care about if it just spins off and it doesn't go anywhere. You really don't care. It seems like you just keep moving forward. You're growing as a person every day. And you're one to watch out of the community.
Thank you, man.
I was going to say as well, I was going to put a link to your Twitch stream in the bio of the video.
Yeah.
Were you planning to let that go?
I could probably
download it and then put
post.
it on YouTube?
I could post it on YouTube. I think I actually uploaded it, but it's privated. So
Okay.
I'll just make it public and just probably drop a link or whatever.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, we can update it over time as well. Because I
Yeah, of
was under
course.
the impression you would like edit it out or something.
I
Make something out of it.
think
but
I edited
whatever
it a
form.
little bit, but yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
No,
That'll
I'll
be
make
linked
it
in.
public and stuff. Yeah, why not?
That was really emotional when I saw that. And when I mean, I was emotional, like reaction to it, like seeing, not really understanding what you were going through and how much of an your experience of Duckman Land was. And as soon as I saw that, I sent it to Gobshite. I said, Gobshite, whatever you're doing, stop and look at this. Look how much like your event has impacted like one individual out of how many people also had an incredible experience and haven't said it on record.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, thank you for those words. Thanks for making that video. And yeah,
That's
Gobshite saw it and he loved it. He loved hearing that.
I love Gobshite. Gobshite's a nice guy.
Everyone does.
He's really nice. The fact that he made LAN as well is just like, God. Big up Gobshite. What a man.
Here we are. Yeah, we're done. Milky, thanks for coming on. After all the episodes that you've watched from the ether, you're finally here, sat in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Interviewed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Felt amazing.
Spud you out. Peace. Thanks, Milky. Yeah. See you soon.